Rock and roll has a long history of being blamed for what's wrong with society. And we're not just talking about punk haircuts and bad habits. In some cases, there are those who claim its influence is as significant as life and death. We'll start with the Suicide Pact that two families believe was inspired by a popular heavy metal band.
Emergency service.
There's been a double shooting.
Okay, whereabouts was the shooting?
Right in my backyard.
Raymond Belknap took this shotgun, placed it under his chin, and pulled the trigger.
It was a battle that Judas Priest had to fight. The masters of 80s metal, accused of inspiring violence and death with their music.
If I go out tomorrow and write a song about the beast tearing limbs and heads off children, it will sell, sadly.
So, are these rock bands doing the devil's work?
The devil has all the best tunes, but the innocent gimmickry of Black Sabbath and their ilk turned nasty when the Christian fundamentalist right claimed that satanic backwards messages were routinely hidden on rock albums.
Set yourself on fire. 4 words, Your Honor. But you play those 4 words backwards, and what do you have? Refute, let's wait, no test.
Going to be another hot, dry one in the Reno area. Here's some Judas Priest to help you get through the day.
But suddenly the joke turned sour. For Judas Priest, this moral panic over supposed subliminal messages led to them being accused of inciting the suicide of a teenager in Nevada, America.
It started here in Reno, Nevada, 2 days before Christmas, 1985. Two young men, 18-year-old Ray Belknap and his 20-year-old friend James Vance, were listening to the Judas Priest album, Stained Class.
They put the record on and started listening to it over and over. They smoked some pot, they drank beer. Ray's sister described their behavior as getting kind of radical and nasty and violent.
Ken McKenna is the attorney for the boys' families.
They escaped out the bedroom window with a shotgun and went down to the churchyard nearby to the back park where the merry-go-round was. Ray put the gun under his chin, and his last words were, "I sure effed up my life." He blew the shotgun into his head and died instantly.
Then it was James' turn. He picked up the gun and pulled the trigger. James survived, but was severely disfigured. 4 months after the Suicide Pact, he wrote this letter.
I believe that alcohol and heavy metal music such as Judas Priest led us or even mesmerized us into believing the answer to life was death.
James sent the letter to his dead friend's mother, who then brought it to McKenna.
That was the smoking gun that pointed at the music from the mouth of the man who had put a gun to his head. It didn't sound right. It didn't feel right. It seemed like there should be responsibility for putting in that kernel of encouragement to kill yourself.
McKenna and the boys' families focused on the lyrics of one song, Better by You, Better Than Me.
Isn't it ironic that of all the hundreds and hundreds of songs that Judas Priest wrote, they pick a song that we didn't write? It was written by this band called Spooky Tooth from the 70s.
Rob Halford was the lead singer of Judas Priest.
And the reason we recorded that song was because we wanted to try and get into the radio world.
It's in essence a ballad that says, I've been bad.
You could find a way to ease my passion.
I've done bad things.
You listen to the blood flow in my veins.
And mother, I have hurt you by being a bad boy.
You hear the teaching of the wind. Tell her why I'm alive within. I can't find the words. My mind is dead.
So if I kill myself, I will rid you of your pain.
It's better by you, better than me.
And that will be a good thing.
I don't know what the guy was trying to say. I think it's about some bust up with his girlfriend. That's in its simplest way how I view that song.
On August 18, 1986, Judas Priest was served with a lawsuit.
I remember that the first feeling was just total shock and amazement. We all felt very, very angry because it went against everything that this band and every band in rock and roll stands for. We write music for people to have a good time with, not kill themselves.
Jerry Whitehead, was the judge in the case.
The plaintiff had filed an action, in fact, charging the band because of the lyrics, because of the beat of the music.
We thought, oh, this will get thrown out because of that First Amendment issue.
Judge Whitehead was about to dismiss the case based on the First Amendment when McKenna showed up with a new plan.
I stopped the discussion about First Amendment and said, we have a whole new ball game. We are suing because they have subliminals in the music. Subliminals caused them to take the acts they did.
This area of subliminal messages came up, and we go, if this is subliminal, I want to hear it, you know, because I knew a little bit what a subliminal message was, but I had absolutely no interest in it other than, oh yeah, isn't that thing that they'd put a flash of a popcorn thing in a movie theatre, and they'd make it, oh, I need some popcorn.
But Judge Whitehead found the subliminal message allegations credible enough to grant a trial.
We wanted to prove the subliminals were there. We wanted to prove that the boys heard them, that they had an effect on them.
It's just insane to perceive that someone would make an accusation, an allegation, that anyone would deliberately put something in the music that would manifest itself in someone taking their lives.
Almost 5 years after the suicide pact, Judas Priest showed up in Reno to defend their music.
There were hundreds of fans out there holding the flag, placards and so on and so forth. There was a tremendous amount of support, and that really geared us up, you know.
No subliminal messages at all?
None at all.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
I got to speak first, so I really wanted to clearly establish what we were there for.
Raymond Belknap took this shotgun, placed it under his chin, and pulled the trigger, ending his young life of 18 years.
I just deflated. I thought, oh no, you know, it's starting here. Can't we just get straight to the point?
Thereafter, his best friend, James Vance, picked up the same gun, now greasy and slippery with Ray's blood, and he placed it under his chin.
Our sole thing was we have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our music.
Is that the letter and photograph you received from James Vance?
Yes. This is what James said made him do it. I had to believe him. He was still here to talk to me.
Why do you think Raymond committed suicide that day?
I think he was affected by the music he was listening to.
The plaintiffs alleged that Judas Priest planted a subliminal message, do it. McKenna claimed there were 7 do-its, and Better By You, Better Than Me.
I was into the trial a couple of days when we had a mini sound studio set up on the floor of the courtroom. I was very nervous because if the judge didn't hear the subliminals, he could dismiss the case.
There was a moment, I'll never forget, where they were making this point, and then suddenly I could see that the judge had sensed that, oh yeah, I can hear this word, do it.
I did listen to the tape in courtroom before and after a number of times, and I did hear the suggested do it.
Now we've got to go another mile.
I just thought that had been implanted subliminally on the record.
Do it? What's do it? In their mind, do it is kill yourself. Do it is kill yourself. I mean, if you can hear go and kill yourself in a record, okay, you've got some contention for discussion.
2 weeks into the trial, Rob Halford took the stand.
Are there subliminal duets on the Better By You, Better Than Me song?
Absolutely not.
Would you sing those 2 lines as you sang them?
You want me to sing them now?
Yes. Can you sing?
Better by you, better than me. You can say what I only can see.
It was a great attempt live to say it was just breathing. Very dramatic.
It wasn't do it, it was a combination of an exhalation of air when I sing, when I perform, and a strange little guitar quirky noise.
After 4 weeks of testimony, the case was now in the hands of Judge Whitehead.
Now, life was on the line in some respect.
You try to be as objective as you can, you understand the risk, you understand, you know, that it's out of your hands.
We did the best we could, we defended ourselves, we did all the right things.
I felt very confident that we were actually going to get everything in a judgment against him.
On August 24th, 1990, Judge Whitehead handed down the verdict.
Additional testimony came in to show that the duet was a combination of sounds from 2 tracks and not from 1. I think it was, in fact, a chance combination of sounds that made the word. I changed my mind.
First of all, I was relieved that he hadn't found for the prosecution.
I didn't want to lose.
But I was disappointed in the statement that he released.
I felt responsibility needed to be there.
That, yeah, he'd heard these noises, but that he hadn't 100% exonerated the band, Judas Priest.
The way you make people responsible is by winning. So it was a big disappointment not to get the final win.
He'd left a little bit of a door open for this to potentially happen again. And that's kind of a scary thought.
While Halford admitted that he had once recorded a backward message as an artistic experiment, the band strongly denied the existence of subliminal messages on the album.
The lyrics have never been bad, and there are no subliminal messages. There never have been. And these cases that are brought against people such as ourselves have a vast background of reasons as to why these things happen, and they're nearly all related to the family environment. Nothing at all to do with the music.
These 2 boys in Reno, Nevada, who were both huge metal fans, loved Judas Priest, were listening to a song and went out with a shotgun, and the one kid killed himself, but the other one survived.
On December 23rd, 1985, Raymond Belknap took this shotgun, placed it under his chin, and pulled the trigger.
Rob Halford was in there and gave evidence quite eloquently, really, because it was high farce.
That's correct.
The judge asked the parents of the kids, well, did you notice anything odd in their behaviour? He said, well, they were locked in the bedroom listening to Judas Priest. How odd can your behaviour be?
Queen, there was this religious right group, claimed that another one bites the dust. Played backwards, says, decide to smoke marijuana. Another one bites the dust. Now you try it.
It's fun to smoke marijuana.
Another one bites the dust. I fancy a flirtation with the black arts here. I'll just buy a couple of albums on the off chance there's something subliminal on the play out of side 2 and play it back in my bedroom for several hours. I mean, how many people are going to be daft enough? I mean, obviously plenty of Americans, but, normal people. Not many.
It came from the Judas Priest album, according to Dr. Wilson Bryan Key, a professor of marketing who has written extensively on subliminal messages. He says the song Better By You, Better Than Me contains the barely audible words, do it, repeated over and over.
And each time do it is increased in hysterical intensity. So it's do it, do it, do it, do it. And we pulled 12 of those out of that one song.
Dr. Keaton sees images of sex and death in all kinds of things, from the Ritz cracker to 17th century art. He sees the word sex written in Lincoln's beard on the $5 bill. There is no subliminal content on the Stained Glass album.
Observers of the music scene are frightened by this and other recent court cases.
I think right now the attacks on rap music and heavy metal represent a very essential threat to liberties.
The members of the Judas Priest band say they've done nothing wrong, that the whole notion of subliminal lyrics is preposterous.
Did you say do it sometime during the recording?
No.
George
Their main witnesses is Wilson Bryan Key, who's written books on subliminal messages.
Time must end before 16. This reoccurs in the lyrics. The idea that 16 is a high point in life. After that, it's all downhill, so pick your time and place and blow yourself away. Okay, the first line, read forward, says, new arms into adullar bliss. Now, when you take that line out and play it backwards, you're getting this. Sing my evil spirit.
Attempt to demonstrate the existence of these alleged subliminal messages, the prosecution recently brought in a man named Bill Nickloff, who was identified as an audio expert, but who turned out to be a marine biologist and only an amateur audio enthusiast. Nickloff set up some computerized equipment and proceeded to unveil what he seemed to think were such evil hidden messages as "do it" and "F the Lord." See what you make of this.
And would you tell us what of your reverse phrases we are heaing now?
Expert of the Lord. I think that because of the what we're hearing today with regards to the real credibility of the witness, the whole case is based on this so-called expert's testimony, and it appears to be more and more shallow. You know, this guy's no qualifications, and you know, it just doesn't seem to be. They just don't seem to be able to prove in any way, shape, or form whatsoever that there are these subliminal messages on the album.
Their prosecuting attorneys said that they heard this thing in a song which they determined to be the phrase "do it."
Are there subliminal do-its on the Better By You, Better Than Me song?
Absolutely not. If you really listen hard enough and somebody says, you're going to hear something now, you'll hear it. I said, let's just find any record, and we went into a studio in Reno, and I said, look, there's a collection over there, and we pulled some out, and I played it backwards, and it sounded like I gave him a peppermint something, 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 and that's what I said to the judge. I said, I'm going to play this backwards now, and I'm going to suggest to you that what you hear is this phrase, you know. So what we'll hear first is, I asked for a peppermint, I asked for her to get one. His eyes like lit up. It was as though suddenly he realised how ridiculous this whole thing was.
Absolutely. End of case. Get out!
In a 108-page written decision handed out to the only parties on hand in court to receive it, the plaintiffs and their attorneys, Judge Jerry Carr Whitehead found that Judas Priest and CBS Records are not liable in causing the deaths of James Vance and Raymond Belknap. The words "do it" are present several times on the Stained Class album and are subliminal, but they are the result of a chance combination of sounds and are not intentional. There is no proof of backwards masking on the album, and in any case, no scientific proof that backwards masking can be perceived or affect conduct. The judge also ruled that corporate attorneys for CBS were inexcusably slow in providing master tapes of the Judas Priest album, and that had those tapes been provided promptly, the whole trial might have been avoided. In light of this, he fined CBS $40,000 to be paid to plaintiffs' attorneys to compensate for costly court delays. While Judge Whitehead ruled that the band and its record company have prevailed on the ultimate issues in this case, he also noted that scientific research into the effect of subliminal messages is in its infancy, and that this subject is simply not a closed issue.
I think it means they've got to watch out. This certainly isn't going to be the last case like this, and I would certainly file another one tomorrow morning. Sooner or later, a case like this will win. Just a matter of time. It's always tough when you're doing a new thing, and it's difficult on the judge, it's difficult on the system. But this case will not be new 5 years from now. It will be the equivalent of cigarettes causing cancer. 5 years from now, we'll all know this music causes violence and death among adolescents.
Judas Priest guitarist Glenn Tipton worried that this sort of attitude could have a chilling effect on the arts.
And if before you actually create something artistically, be it through any media, you know, through books, magazines, songs or whatever, if it crosses your mind that you should be very careful what you put down in case you get a lawsuit, isn't Big Brother watching this? Aren't we all being closed down?
The judge ruled that the metal band's music was not responsible for the suicide death of 2 young fans. Guitarist Glenn Tipton was not surprised.
There was no doubt in our mind at all. There was no doubt whatsoever at any point in time.
I accept it. I just really worry about the other kids out there that experiment with this, because he feels we didn't have enough scientific proof.
We took CBS and Judas Priest all the way. We've completed a trial on a case the experts said would have gotten picked off a long time ago.
You can listen to that music backwards and hear things if you want to. And it would be crazy for us to say you couldn't. But the finding that that the defendants did not intentionally put any subliminal messages on there, I think, is a complete vindication.
Real Methodist band.